7:15 in the morning. It's 7 degrees. I'm at a place called Wickersley near Rotherham. I've just had my breakfast from McDonald's over there. And I'm on my way to Silverstone, which is not a track that everybody loves, is it? Aye. If you shoot on public side, people didn't like it because, well, it's an FIA Grade 1 circuit. Well, the national layout's actually FIA Grade 2, but the Grand Prix circuit's FIA Grade 1, which means that it has Grade 1 fencing, which makes it a bit of a pain if you're on the public side shooting. On our side, it also doesn't have a great reputation, but I don't have much of a problem with it, really. I think it's okay. You're a bit far away from the track at Cobb's Corner, but the rest of it on the national layout, it's not actually that bad. The interesting thing, the challenge for the day is really Silverstone National's only got 4 corners when you think about it. Because I'm only doing one day, and we'd have to choose 3 of those 4 good vantage points, which I suppose is less than other tracks. So that's going to be the challenge. And the way the weather's been yesterday, because it absolutely chucked it down all night, and it is cold, and I think it's going to be overcast. Normally I go Brooklands through to Woodcote for the last race because it's golden now when the sun's perfect. You sometimes don't even need a polarising filter. But I don't know if that's going to happen today. Anyway, let's get to Silverstone. Right, cheers, mate. Here we are, Silverstone, home of British Motorsport. That's what they say. There they are, searching people for not having booze. I could have smuggled some in for some people. Could have made some money. A booze runner. You're not allowed to bring booze in at all now. Been a lot of complaints about it online, but anyway, yeah, new car tracks here looking smart. Not as good as our local track, I'll tell you that now. But yeah, Silverstone, love the place and hate the place at the same time, because it's a long walk around for a fat lad like me. Where's out? But it's a British crowd. The British crowd are knowledgeable. British crowd's always passionate and enthusiastic and classy. Now, I've never shot Formula 1, well, not contemporary Formula 1, I've shot classic Formula 1. But I shot here once a couple of days after the 2019 British Grand Prix, and on the Hanger Straight, this shows you how classy British fans are. There was some rubbish that had been thrown over the fence, some food discarded, a lobster. Yes. Out in the general admission area, somebody had obviously ate a bit of lobster, then flung it over the fence. But yeah, I've shot here loads of times, British touring cars, TCRs, club racing, historic racing. And I'm actually feeling, and sometimes I get here and I feel, but I'm actually feeling really enthusiastic today. Now, to try and get parked, I've got a mid-year pass, but I know, like most years, I'll go out to the mid-year place, and I'm going to be coming back up to this car park here, because it's always full. I'm trying to get away from the tannoys because they're quite loud. And now there's a helicopter. That's fantastic, isn't it? She's heading over to Cobb's Corner, which is just scummed out because since they built Escapade, there's a little bit of a blacked out RAF Rolls Royce. But since they built the Escapade thing, all the fancy houses along there, or units for accommodation, which look like actually to me look like a prison. Bloody awful. It just look like concrete blocks. Maybe I'm not a purveyor of excellent architecture these days, but yeah, since they built that, it's you can't walk straight along, you've got to go behind the fence a little bit, but when you walk all the way along to Margot's, the cars come unsighted out of is that right? That left-hander before the turning right, and it's hard to catch them when they're unsighted. Well, the F4 cars, because they're a lot faster than the touring cars. But it's not really worth going along that way for me. I didn't think so anyway. I think one of the problems with Silverstone, like I said, is there's 4 corners and you've got to choose 3 to shoot from for the 3 races because you can't get back to the paddock easily from any of them. I'm going to do Cups, one of the touring car races, the outside of Aintree, and I'll do Brooklands and Luffield. It's not as bad as what people say it is. I think that's the worst thing about Cups on the corner is, I mean, it's great getting the head-on shot in the start. With it being an F1 track, it's quite wide, which is better than a lot of the tracks that we go to. And like Croft, you can get that head-on shot. It's not a red zone. The side of it is for the first few laps, but straight down the track isn't. And you can get up into the grandstands to shoot the start. But the worst thing about it is the scrutineer and be just on the inside, and it's whenever that's in the background, it's not worth using them pictures. Well, in my opinion anyway, but unless you're going for a real low speed panning shot. It's the same going down the straight between turn 1 and turn 2. You're not getting much apart from the panning shots. So yeah, I'll do a race there. I'm going to do F4 there now. Let's see how that turns out. I just shot the Formula 4 at Cups. It was alright. I didn't go down into the bunker and I didn't go up into the grandstand. I don't know if you can see that there's a grandstand over there. That blue seats were allowed up there to shoot, but maybe for the touring cars. But this is what the shots look like. Things like that. Is he asking you to get? He's not going to get it out for you, you know.
I don't even know what is in your mind. I don't even know what it is in your brain, mate. Honestly. Jesus Christ.
You'll take my life, but I'll take yours too. You'll fire your musket, but I'll run you through. So when you're waiting for the next attack, you'd better stand. There's no turning back.
Not too bad. Ooh, Silverstone pit lane, eh? It's canny size compared to the other ones on the calendar. I mean, when you look at places like Croft and Oulton Park, Snetterton, especially Croft and Snetterton, tiny pit lanes, this is massive. What you think when I'm the advantage of this is that you can get in the garages and take some good shots, which is something that's a bit harder to do. Maybe that'd sit my fat arse down. Something that's a bit harder to do at some of the other tracks. I mean, the wing on the other side I'm not particularly keen on. To me, this is the proper pit lane, you know. When you go back to the 80s and when the you know, the good old Rover SD1s and the endurance races being down here. But Steve Jackman, who shoots for the magazine for us, one of the photographers you'll see in the magazine, was there when he was working for Gordon Spice. And if you're a touring car fan, obviously you know Gordon Spice racing with the Capris. And it was back in the days when, well, when this wasn't a joke, when they'd say, the marshals would say, well, if it goes up in flames during refueling, do I put out the car or do you put out the person? And it's, you know, things have changed since then, thankfully. Access to the garages here is a bit better than at the other tracks. You're able to move around without being on top of people and getting people's views. Oh, God, somebody has to start talking now.
The pit lane walk is now over.
After that interruption, we're back. It was nice shooting the parachute regiment coming down there. A few mates who served there. But yeah, as I was saying, getting in the garages here is much better. You've got much more scope for moving around and getting different kinds of shots. And I don't know why the light just seems better here. I don't know if it's because of the way the sun moves during the day. And it's moving around that way. People didn't realise I'm trying to talk, do you? But yeah, I mean, you've got to be careful of things, you know. There's obviously sensitive data around on laptops and plan sheets and stuff like that, and some engines get covered. If there's an engine change going on, then if they ask you not to shoot, you don't shoot. But overall, it's a fairly relaxed situation for photographers in the pit lane and in the garages and touring cars, thankfully. The main problem though is before a race, when you're doing that, drivers getting ready shot. If you're a solo photographer like me, at Croft you can get every driver up and down the pit lane in one session, whereas here, when people start coming to the cars, by the time the first few people at the bottom, like Napa Garage is down the far end all the way down there, and while the Napa guys are getting in the car and accelerating, West Surrey racing and toy, but by the time you get up here, they're already in. So you've got to do 2 pit lane tours to get where I do. It's probably because I'm a fucking fatty. So I'm going to go and get me lunch now and decide where I'm going to shoot the second race from. Porsches are out at the moment. I've shot off here with them. I'm going to do race 2 for the touring cars on the outside of the entry. On the other side, the inside of Maggots, I mean, it's unbelievable how close you can get there. There's a gap at the end of the barrier, and it's great for getting drivers right of the car. I think it's the only place really worthy of getting drivers right, because everywhere else you're on the outside of the circuit, really getting decent photos. So I'm not going there today. I don't think we're going to Y at the moment either. So I'm going to do entry on the outside, which there's a little crest where it comes from the Grand Prix circuit onto the national circuit, and it doesn't seem as much as what it is when you watch it on the telly. And I just love getting them when they turn right and they just come over this little crest as they're running out wide. Just get some nice photos from it. The problem is though, like a lot of other places, it's just over there. It's just behind these scaffolding which people sit in. I can't do that. It scares the crap out of me, you know. I mean, I've been up in the grandstand today, but it scares the living bloody daylights out of us. Because I'm a pessimist and I think it's going to fall down. But anyway, you start up at the top, and you'll see in the photos what I mean. And you work your way down a little bit, and for 22 laps, I mean, the cars come round once a minute. Well, less than once a minute, about once a minute. 22 lap race. By the time 10 laps are done, 12 laps, you've really got all the photos that you need. I've just been up the top up here, which is where the bridge is. And I might run along there at the edge. It's not brilliant. I might do like 10, 15 laps, hop in the car, drive there, get up there and get some shots, then back to the paddock. Or, if I've got enough shots, what I might do is I might go around Brooklands. I don't know what the parking's like over there now that they've got the car track in. Because you used to just be able to drive over, park, and take photos. But yeah, these Porsches are still on, and I'm going to get back to listening to the Sunderland match against Aston Villa.
We heard bodies that lay on the ground, and the Russians fire another round. We get so near, yet so far away. We won't live to fight another day.
Oh, back to the car. Absolutely whacked. What time is it? It's 4:15. I've banged me head a couple of times. You can't see. Boo-boo on me head there. Boo-boo on me head there. There's going up the bank on the Wellington Straight. There's a bit that's not public area. No one going work, but the gate was open up. And I unlocked it, opened it and walked forward and didn't realise the gate was only up to here. And then the fence was above it and I walked into it. Looked alright. So, for the last race, for the touring cars, I'm going to go, the weather, hopefully, it's been nice and sunny today. It was meant to be rainy during the week. It was going to be wet. We've got some dark, big clouds hanging around. Not rain clouds, I don't think. But normally when you stand on the Woodcote side of Brooklands, Luffield and Woodcote, and you're looking up this way towards the Wellington Straight, it's usually, well, even all around there, it's usually golden hour, so you get the best sun, late September sun, nice and low. And I'd like to think that would be not clouding over and keep that. If it clouds over, it clouds over. No point getting upset about it. But there's a lot of, there's a lot of people down on things today with from the photography side of things. I mean, a few people have gone up to the inside of Maggots, which is now being turned into a red zone. I'm not surprised. And I just think people just seem drained. It seems a bit flat in the photography core. Some people are bursting with energy as usual. But the problem for me is if I go at Brooklands and try and walk all the way around in 25 minutes, I'll not do the full thing. I'll only get 2/3 of the way around because I'm a bit of a lard lad. And the other thing is, it's one of the places where there's big screen usually. Well, I don't know if there's a big screen this year, is there? Because oh yes, I can see the big screen over there in Stone Place. That's good for me. I can hear the Porsche Sprint going out, which means that they're going to be getting ready to get in the cars in about 10-15 minutes. So I'll go and shoot that. Then I'll go to the grid and walk down to Woodcote. And we'll just see how we'll go from there, because at the end of the day, when the last race is finished, you can cut across the track, and the final podium is on the track itself, which I think is an absolutely brilliant thing. I think it should be done at more tracks. It engages the fans, and I think it helps with the egress of people leaving at the end of the day. Yeah. So let's go and have a look, see what's going on there. I've just had a kind of Iron Brew Extra. Tells us to scan your can. I'm not going to. And a bag of crisps. So I'm all fired up and ready. And let's go and have a look around there. You get me through that, fucker. That's the day done. Sam Osborne win at the end there. And I'm going to be doing the podium on the track. I'm chuffed for him.